Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namnehi, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namnehi, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namnehi, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namnehi, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasare Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasari Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna, Haribol Tagore. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Goranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Goranga. Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya Te.
Haribol. All of us, this body is like a kingdom. It has, it do have, it has 9 gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So this body is akin to a kingdom, a house with 9 gates. So the living entity, after understanding, listening for so long about our true transcendental nature, now we know now our situation. We're in this body of 9 gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 gates, okay? You are inside, covered by this body. So this kingdom, you're the king. Kasi you're the ones manipulating, trying to control the body. Okay? So what makes it that we are always unhappy and full of anxiety? Number 1, the false ego. We identify with the body. Definitely, we are inside this body and these 9 gates. Now, how can we be living in a kingdom, in this body, joyfully? So I'll read to you here Narada Muni, his teachings, to make it very clear so we can move forward. So we will not be following the mind. And the view or our concept or our ideas will be based upon what will really be joyful to the living entity, you, the person who's living in this body. Okay? While his sons were undergoing severe austerities in the ocean, King Prachinabarhisat performed various types of fruitive activities. At this time, the great saint Narada, master and teacher of all spiritual science, became very compassionate upon the king and decided to instruct him about spiritual life. it is akin to coming in contact with the representative of God, the spiritual master, Krishna, who gives us this wisdom about who we are. So the king, the king, Prachina Barisat, the king is engaging in fruitive activities. What are fruitive activities? You worship and engage in activities for the result, to be the recipient of the boon that you are hoping to get through the process. Halimbawa, when Lord Krishna and his friends in Vrindavan, they were the friends of Krishna, they were very hungry while playing. All those individuals are saintly person playing that role of Krishna's friend, engaging in pleasing God. They are given that opportunity to play with God. So they went to the wives of the husband of the wives of the Brahmanas, but they were all engaged in karmakanda, fruitive activities, worshiping the demigods to go to the heavenly planet. So they're not able to see and appreciate the spiritual master, the devotees coming to them, begging. While there's performance of sacrifice and there's so much food, they're not able to see Krishna. They're not able to connect their life, their heart to Krishna. So what happened? When they were so frustrated, they went back to Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna told them, go to the wives because they are pure loving servants. They are my devotees. So when they came in front, they were in front of the mothers. When they asked, please give us food because we're very hungry, and Krishna's just there in the forest. Immediately, just like the rivers that goes to the ocean, the water, immediately they go to Krishna. So this is the point I like to discuss dito. For so long, we have been very arrogant because of our conditioning. Our conditioning, we identify ourselves as the body. We're very selfish with this false ego to do our own will, to choke out this jungle, impregnable jungle of material life, this ocean. We cannot swim in this ocean. We will be drowned. And this material jungle is very dangerous. So the king is engaging in fruitive activities, karmakanda activities for material benefit. So all of us here, in a different way, you are also a king in your body. And according to your activities, what will resonate or what will be your doing, what comes out of your mouth, of your view, if it's contaminated by the three modes of material nature, and the influence is about fruitive, to be able to engage and experience sensual pleasure, fruitive activities, by following the dictates of the senses, then this body that we have, we're in this body, then we are always anxious. We're always anxious because our quest, our direction is upon this temporary world. A different energy. And not only that, we have discussed always that you are not self-sufficient. You're not God. And what drives you? What drives us? It is the quest, the search for happiness. But because we are not able to understand what love is, because love has been contaminated with material desires, not directed upon the will of God. So it's now polluted. So all of us here, we're nasa kingdom kayo na to. So if this house, seemingly, nakakita kayo ng bahay na maganda-maganda yung mga mansion, like for example, you go to Manila, you go to this place, wow, so nice house. Tapos, Magtataka kayo. You wonder, bakit yung bahay na to parang gloomy, malungkot? So it's also like that. You're in this house, this body, with 9 gates. The eyes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah? If it's burning, are you comfortable? You're inside the house, you're burning. The house is burning, because of the activities we do, the person. So, fruitive activities means the quest for fulfillment of enjoyment of the senses, selfish interest. Kaya we become influenced by lust. And when we're lusty, we're burning. And then we get frustrated because our meditation, our contemplation, how we use the body, the senses, will be futile in search of real fulfillment because we will be frustrated. So that will be the effect. That will be the effect when we are frustrated, we're angry. That's why the house is burning. You cannot stay put. You cannot stay put and relax. So there is a process wherein if you are conditioned to live in a very dirty place like the pigs, you become conditioned, it's okay. Shit all around, and you're comfortable there. So, you may have come to know and experience values, read scripture about the words of God. But the question is, are you able to apply it? Or the process you're following, is it the supreme process that purifies you? That while you're in this body, in this house, you're not burning? What is our meditation? So karma kanda or fruitive activities, the search for happiness through fruitive activities, through lust, will put us in anxiety. Why? Because you're always anxious that you cannot get what you want. Number 2, when you get it, you're anxious again. You're afraid that you're gonna lose it. And definitely, at the time, what the inevitable will come, you're gonna lose it. Iwan nyo lahat. And then, you're now in this predicament. You have lost your intelligence, you cannot make correct decision. That's why when someone comes to help you, there's resistance. There's resistance from us. Because we are covered by lust and anger, we are not able to see who our friend, our eternal friend, who cares for us. So when Krishna comes, the spiritual master comes, and the teachings of the spiritual master is not different from Krishna. We're not able to appreciate and apply it in our lives. There's resistance because of our conditioning of lordship. So this body, you're the king. So you ask yourself, with this lordship, are you happy? But there is a process wherein lahat tayo who lives in this kingdom can be happy and fulfilled when we are connected in harmony with Krishna. So here, I'll read this so you can understand that yes, this kingdom that I live in, the 9 gates can be illuminated, and I can stay in this kingdom and experience connection with life, with happiness. And that is the consciousness that I must have, the consciousness of purity, of understanding and living a life that is in harmony with God's pleasure. A connection with doing the will of God. So some of us here, you are conditioned to join faiths. You can read scripture back to back. You can quote Ecclesiastes, you can quote all the scriptures. But you ask yourself, be real. You're in this kingdom. Your body, you're the king. Your activities, does it conform or in harmony with what you have read? Or it's just a cliche you read to make believe? And illusion puts you in a situation, Maya, thinking it's okay. But in reality, assess, look at your life. The house you're living in, the kingdom, is it peaceful? Can you sit down and relax? Or the place is burning? When the place is burning, is when your meditation is based upon lust. And it's about the false ego trying to find fulfillment in this dead world. That's why we are always frustrated and angry. You see the snake, di ba? Venomous snake. They shed off their skin, but still, they're envious. Yeah? Di ba, have you seen the snake? Di ba, they shed skin. But even though they shed the skin, still a snake, a cobra. Huh? Because the body that they are living in, their nature is there. Their nature of the body of that living creature as a snake, venomous, toxic, cruel, angry. So don't look. So when you're in this kingdom that you have, you can check if you can sit down and meditate and think of Krishna and not touched by what's happening. So all those arrogance that we have, that we're clinging, are resistant. We're resisting. Somebody's saving you, Krishna, but you resist because you think, you're so attached to the body. You think you're a woman. You think you're a human being. We are not this body. We don't belong to this world. None of us here belongs to this world. My spiritual master tells us, everybody's wondering, are there other living entities living in the moon, in those planets? How do they look? And when you watch the movie they portray, yung E.T., alam mo yung E.T.? Hindi E.T. Dahil based upon materialism, murag E.T. naman ang mugawas. Di ba? Yung mata, gano'n bilang. Hinintay nila, kailan darating ang mga tao sa outer space? So they wait and wait. They make movies about those living entities who will come here, the alien. In a true sense, we are all aliens. We don't belong to this world. We are not this body. So this sectarianism, man against woman, about ism, they make so much effort for all this external. The false ego resists. That is the contamination that is so hard to overcome because it's based upon our anger and control, our dominion, our focus, our meditation. Okay? So you can check sa buhay nyo. So while you make progress towards understanding this wisdom, you can now assess. You may have all the wisdom, the knowledge that you have read. You can read the Bible back to back. You can pledge allegiance to the faith, to the group, and be righteous, sanctimonious, feeling holier than everybody else, judging everybody else. That when Krishna comes to help you, you're not able to see because we are blinded by lust and anger, false bodily identification, this false ego. So I'll read this, how Krishna loves us so much. Okay? How the spiritual master loves us so much. While the sons were undergoing severe austerities in the ocean, King Prachinabar Hisat performed various types of fruitive activities. Fruitive activities meaning, you do something, you want the fruits. Kung anong gusto mo, may tanim ka ng kamatis, gusto mo, sana ganito yung kamatis na darating. Naintindihan niya? You may do something ba? Everything you do, even in this world, you identify with your kingdom. So what do we do every day? We just take care of the external. So you go to the mirror, look, is my face clean? Is my teeth wala bang kiki? No? When I speak, wala bang mga tao lalayo? O kaya pag tinaas mo yung kamay mo, parang kambing na nakikita nyo sa ad na baka sabihin nila, lumalayo sila sa akin. Is it me whom they're talking all about? So it's all about this kingdom. But ang focus natin is all the external. Okay? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most beautiful of them all? Kaya, when we have the spiritual wisdom, we pray every day, one can chant the holy names. No? With this false ego, somebody tells you, bate mani mundagway dai, immediately, di ba? So when we engage in activities, every day do action, it's all about what will people say? Yeah, what will we get? The fame. Uy, ka-cute ni mo. Di ba? Buutan ka kayo. But if somebody tells you, demonyo ka man? Immediately, Ako, demonyo? Patay na. Di ba? Tsaka, pag meron kayong goal, hindi nyo nakuha, frustrated kayo parate. And we are burdened by this envy. Hindi natin makuha. Siya mayroon, tayo wala. So we make so much effort. Kaya we engage in heinous activities. We steal. In a truest sense, we are already thieves because we are stealing and using what does not belong to us. This is all God's property, God's children. But in this consciousness of materialism, hedonism, it's all about what we can take. And we're always anxious, burning. So now you can check. Can you sit down and live peacefully? Gusto nyo maging peaceful? Hindi pwedeng pikit lang nyo yung mata nyo. You cannot be like the rabbit. That the danger is there. The wolf is there. The rabbit, what will he do? Close his eyes. Danger is not there. Okay? What will the ostrich do? No? Bury her head inside the ground. Danger is not there. But this world is a very dangerous place. Death, diseases, it's a very dangerous place. A place we're always in danger. And this kingdom that we live in, this body is temporary. And what do we do every day? The moment you wake up, the moment you sleep, what your thoughts are all about, it's all about you, this body. So don't ever think that this realization of Aham Brahmasmi is a cheap thing. It's very important because it will be the foundation to move forward when you understand, I am not this body. Aham Brahmasmi. And with the wisdom that is being given to us about our true transcendental activities in nature, then you'll be happy. That in this kingdom, you'll be a very fulfilled person. You'll come to the point there's nothing more to be gained. Because in the truest absolute sense, everything is given to us. You don't make effort to breathe. Do you make effort to breathe? Do you make effort to breathe? Bala ba? No? Do you make effort to chop all the food that you eat? Who digests it? It's already arranged. So this lordship must be transcended. We must understand how we can live a life of harmony under the care of God, under His love and care. And we can only appreciate that with a purified heart and a purified mind. Until our heart is so hard and our mind is so lusty and angry, then the burden that we carry, this house will always be burning. You understand? No matter what show you do, you can wear nice clothes. You can smile, this Colgate smile every day, you know? That when you meet someone, oh, how are you? How gorgeous you are. But deep within, the body, you experience this decay, this obnoxious, smell that manifests and resonates through the senses. What you speak, how you see, how you hear. So now the question is this: if you understand clearly you are not the body, this body is like a house, a kingdom. Will you let the pigs, will you let it be a place where all will be the dumping site, a garbage dump with all the flies and the maggots? But you cannot see that and transcend that until and unless we have transcended this false bodily identification, this false ego, until we're liberated. And how to be liberated? With the wisdom that cuts the knot of ignorance. And what is that ignorance? This illusion of false bodily identification and a focus upon fruitive activities. That makes our heart hard because our focus is in the wrong direction. Klaro sa inyo? Naintindihan nyo? Itong katawan nyo, kingdom nyo. Ngayon, kung kingdom nyo to, papayagan ba nyo pumasok mga basura dito lang? Tapon natin mga basura dyan. So how does it happen? When you associate with people who speaks garbage, who speaks sound that will contaminate you, whose action is based upon lust, uses you, manipulate you, try to use you. So if we are in that consciousness, we are not a friend to other living entities. Because we see them as we are hedonists, narcissistic. We try to play Lord and try to eat everything we see to satisfy our unlimited craving for real happiness. So when we are not in that state, it's a very sad, sorry state. So when you are given this opportunity to have this wisdom and you can see clearly what makes it that is very hard. What makes it that's very hard? It is our conditioning. And the process we engage in every day is not purifying. That's why the holy names, Krishna comes, the supreme purifier, purifies our heart, and the association with the representative of God, whose teaching is about pure unalloyed devotional service, not touched by this material conditioning. So, I'll recap and point to all of us. This will be the beginning of our study program until the school closes. So we can now see what kind of kingdom you want. What kind of kingdom? And here, it is not them, it is you who will be living in this kingdom, in this house, in this body. Is it clear? Intindihan niyo? So no need to run from suffering because the body is already connected with this suffering. Okay, na? So what should we do? Follow the instruction of how we can live in this kingdom, this city of 9 gates, and be connected with what is real transcendental happiness that we are longing to have and experience. Is it clear sa inyo? So it's not about joining the group. It's about not someone trying to perpetuate this group. It's all nonsense. What we should do, this person is also anxious, He's thinking, let's protect this kingdom. Not seeing that all those who live in their own kingdom have this problem. And the spiritual master, the Lord within the heart, is so compassionate to make us aware of our situation. The truth will set you free. So you can live in a transcendental environment while you are in this city of 9 gates, this kingdom. Hindi na? So, magulo man lahat, your happiness is within. And the perfection of that connection with God is when you experience joy in chanting the holy names. You experience God's mercy, and you're humble enough to be thankful. You are praying that please be merciful to me, that your mercy, I can embrace it. I can experience this warmth. Please, 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 my Lord. Although I'm not qualified, please, I am experiencing the happiness of chanting, remembering your glories, your mercy. Please, don't let me forget you. So when you're in that state, there's nothing more to be gained. You're feeling lower than the straw in the street. You're under the embrace of Krishna. That is transcendental meditation. So when you chant, Krishna reveals himself to you. Krishna arranges it. He purifies our heart. He purifies the mind. And we are come to the point of harmony, that while in this kingdom, this body, this house we're living in, we're able to meditate in a world that is transcendental to this miserable world. This world, goodness, passion, and ignorance, trying to arrange it, it's futile. We must get out of this place. And while we are encumbered in this body, we can be in that world because Krishna comes. That is the beauty and transcendental experience of receiving this process that descends. We are so little. We are so encumbered. We are helpless. But Krishna comes to the parampara. He comes. And Krishna is everything. Living or non-living, it comes from Him. He's the supreme purifier. And the glories of Krishna, is the splendor of Lord Krishna, everything is glorified, especially of His love for us, His children. That we should appreciate. And when we can appreciate that, we will be able to take this opportunity now to value it. To value it. That you will not value anymore what you are contemplating. The sense perception, the contemplation of this material dead world that puts you in prison in this world of burning world of lust. This unlimited craving. This world wherein whatever you do, you are not able to experience satiation in your heart, peacefulness, because of your contamination, our contamination. We're looking in the wrong direction. Our goal is different, fruitive activities. So I'll recap and make, so we can continue. What day is today? Friday? So we can continue on Monday. So I'll just read here the glories of Narada Muni. Narada Muni is not different from our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. He's not different from Krishna. He's God's love, personification of God's love and compassion. He's the sweetest, most gentle teacher who cares for us. At this time, the great Saint Narada, master and teacher of all spiritual science, became very compassionate upon the king and decided to instruct him about spiritual life. Narada said, "My dear king, what do you desire to achieve by performing these fruitive activities? The chief aim of life is to get rid of all miseries and enjoy happiness." To get rid of all miseries. So, why are we miserable? Because of our sense perception. We begin to contemplate and act to achieve what the material desires in our minds are. And when we put it on a greater scale of entanglement, it's about fruitive work, karma kanda, to achieve greater happiness through sensual enjoyment. The chief aim of life is to get rid of miseries and enjoy happiness. But these two things cannot be realized by fruitive activity. The king replied, "O great soul Narada, my intelligence is entangled in these fruitive activities, therefore I do not know the ultimate goal of life. Kindly instruct me in pure knowledge so that I can get out of this entanglement." Thereupon, Narada began relating the allegory of King Purunjana. And in this way, he instructed King Prachinabarhisat on the hazards of material life. So, the most dangerous game, material life. Because you're responsible for your action. There's karma. And karma means you have to take another body in this world and suffer birth, death, disease, and knowledge. So you want to play a game that's very dangerous? Then do it your own way. Then you are in a situation wherein you're responsible for your actions. All of it. So it's called, you're under the influence of Mahamaya. You try to dominate material nature, you will be dominated by a force that will kick you, entangle you, encumber you to suffer all the miseries that is connected with this body, because your meditation in this false ego is lordship and attachment and trying to perpetuate happiness that is not really achieved through sensual enjoyment and fruitive activities. So be intelligent to be under Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya, it's Krishna's transcendental world. Vaikuntha, not touched by this miserable world. A world that is eternal. That is why the spiritual master invites us to go back home. All the saintly person, they instruct us to meditate and do the will of the Supreme Person. And that will is all about His love for us. He cares for us. What is materialism and false ego all about? What is that all about? It is about a process where you are trying to play Lord. And you are responsible. You're going to experience all the fruitive activities you desire, and you'll be entangled in this world. So the house, this kingdom, is burning. So stop the burning and sit down and be able to meditate and receive Krishna. Understand? Is it clear to you? You cannot be so arrogant. No need, I don't need this. You know? No. You're in prison, all of us. This imprisonment of false bodily identification. And the spiritual master, he comes. So we must have this vision and understanding of what is a bona fide spiritual master. That's why I discuss most of the time about whom we should follow, whom we should listen. That will give us relief. To be relieved from this material suffering and be connected what is transcendental, our true transcendental nature of experiencing the sweetness of pure devotional service. When you come to the point, there's nothing more to be gained, because the guidance of our life is now guided by Krishna, and that is about our love that we're longing for, to be satiated and satisfied, and it will only be satisfied with someone who is self-sufficient, the Lord of love, who declares it. Serve me, love me, and I'll protect you. I love you. So all these individuals who try to perpetuate the kingdom, to put us in a situation of ignorance, you should negate, you should discard what you should be. We're all very selfish. Why not make it? Do something that will benefit us. And that benefit should be transcendental. It's about God's will, our real happiness. So we have to discard all of this nonsense. We should only follow the likes of Narada Muni, who has so much compassion and care for us. Srila Prabhupada, the Parampara. Not our mind. The reason you have this mind, the reason you have this body. You follow the desire in the mind, then you need a body to fulfill, to experience sensual enjoyment of the fruits you desire to achieve. That's why you continue in this material world on and on. To fulfill those desires, you must have a body. You must be living in a kingdom, a house. Now you have this kingdom. So you check-in yung sarili nyo. Is your kingdom burning? What do you do with the 9 gates? So you have this gate, the mouth. What do you do with your mouth? Will you, koka, 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 koka. You hear sound and you pass it on, put garbage upon the kingdom, the house of someone. You know this gossiping? You have this house. Somebody comes. And hung-hung sa inyong tainga ba? Alam mo, kapangit ng sinabi niya sa iyo, masama ka daw. Yung asawa niya, blah, 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 blah. So what do? You let that door, that gate open to be the dump site of this garbage of mundane sound that entangles that person who is in lust. You let him in. You know? You don't need to go to hell. Because you have already opened that door to be in hell. That's why the devotee is Goswami, master of his senses. The spiritual master qualification is that he has the ability to control the urge of the mind, the belly and the genital. He's transcendental to the 3 modes of material nature. And that is achievable if we follow his instruction. Because our heart, our focus, our contemplation will be directed upon doing the will of God. And that will is transcendental. It's about his care, his happiness. And that is inseparable from our true transcendental longing for real happiness. Is it clear to you? It's not about different yoga, living in a place, eating vegan, perpetuating an environment. It's not that. The place can be very clean from the point, relatively speaking, calm like here. But if your body, this temple, this kingdom is burning, that's why, have you seen this song? Everybody's clapping. She's on fire. Why is she on fire? She's lusty. She's identifying herself as the body. And she dances there, showing, telling everybody how she's on fire. Hindi ba kayo natatauhan? She's already burning and everybody's clapping. I want to be like her. To be acclaimed by all those people. You're great. She's burning already, dying. This is illusion. Open your eyes. Tingnan niya. So the spiritual master, he has no desire to have numbers of followers. Hindi siya kailangan maraming tao, maraming followers. Because he understands fully. All of you will leave your body. What's the use of followers? But what is important is to pass on this transcendental science wherein you can be comforted, wherein you can experience happiness and be protected by God. He makes a stand to be valiant. He's brave. But all those individuals who are cowards, who does not know how to tread this path of spiritual life. They try to perpetuate the organization, the faith. No. We should be very clear with what we should be doing with clarity. You understand? All of you can understand clearly? So no need to look. You just look. Is my house burning? And it is all connected with what you do with your senses. So the doors you use. So there is a process in Bhakti Yoga, the science of devotional service. It begins with hearing, chanting the holy names, offering to Krishna, the science of practice of devotional service, bowing down to the deity. So it means this body that you have, you're using it to receive God. Prior to coming to this path, what do you do with the doors that are all open? It's like a vacuum cleaner. Lahat sinusuyop. Kaya punong-puno ng basura. Natabunan na, hindi mo na nakikita sarili mo. Parang yung langaw, comfortable siya sa ibabaw ng tae. Parang yung maggots, bulok na daga, nabubulok ang baho-baho, lahat kayo ayaw nyo, pero doon siya nagsiswimming. So you like to swim in this body, in this temple, the body that you have, and what is inside. Di ba may lagi nyo sinasabi, pure outside, dirty inside. Ano yun? Ano di ba may mga riddle? Alam niyo? Very white outside, but very dirty inside. Ano yan? Hindi kayo tinuruan nun? Sigarilyo. Puti. Pero sa loob, toxic. No? So anyway, so the process we are engaging in. So it's just the start. Okay? Then we will discuss in our study program the consequence if we don't take care of this kingdom that we have. Okay? Diyan na yun. Pwede na kayo, pag may kumakanta, she's burning, lahat kayo pumapalakpak. At inisip nyo rin, sana nandun din ako pinapalakpakan. Okay? Okay, let's chant. Move the camera pa so we can chant.
Haribol, Krishna.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Nandai, Ora Karuna Sorupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Nandai, Ora Karuna Sorupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya.
Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narada.
Bhaju Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Gaurabhakta Vrinda.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribol, Haribol, Krishna Haribol.
Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Haribol, Krishna, Haribol.
Madana, Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana, Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama.
Siddhaswarupananda,